Hello. In this episode, actually, we're going to be looking at the issue of divorce. I have talked about issue of domestic violence. Yeah, domestic violence can lead to divorce. But on this episode, I'm going to majorly dwell on the issue of divorce and the effect of divorce. The truth is, no man, no woman goes into marriage with the hope of leaving his home for any reason. Nobody intends to get married, and after some certain time, then you plan to leave. Maybe I just want to get married in 10 years time. I should be out of my husband's house, or in 5 years time, or in 2 years time, I should be out of my husband's house, or I should leave my wife. Nobody have this intention. That is the basic fact. Everybody goes into marriage with one purpose in mind: to be happy all throughout the time. But most often time, this doesn't happen. We find ourselves in a situation that we actually didn't bargain for. And dealing with those situations becomes very tough most often time, that we don't know how to reverse back to our lives. But actually, I'm going to dwell on the reason for divorce and the effect of divorce in this series, in this episode, sorry, because it has been a series all throughout the time, and I'm going to dwell on the issue of divorce, the effect of divorce. Miles Morris once said that divorce is like a death without a burial. He explained that when somebody dies, whether your husband or the wife or whoever dies, you take the person to the cemetery, then a grave is being dug, and you put the coffin inside the grave, pour sand inside the grave, and you weep over the person, and you have a closure. Inside your mind, it is settled. There is nothing you can do. So he said divorce is like a death without burial, because this person keeps resurrecting in your life every now and then, especially when children are involved or both of you live in the same community. Anytime you bump into each other, the hurt, the pains, the feelings, everything resurrects. No matter how we try to pretend about it, it resurfaces, and we go back home in our closet and start nursing those hurts, because actually it is not what we intended from the beginning. It was an accidental end of a marriage. Divorce is an accidental end of a marriage. Nobody intended it. So I'm going to be giving you the three causes which I have outlined, that the major causes of divorce. Now, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they came to ask Jesus in the book of Matthew chapter 19. And they came to ask him, let's read it. He said, and a great multitude followed him, and he hid them there. The Pharisees also came to him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning make them male and female? That means it was not God's intention for a man to put away his wife. Look, they asked for that question. He said, and said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And they said unto him, why did Moses then command to give a written of divorcement, and to put away the woman? And Jesus said, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart. Now, the Pharisees were trying to make inquiry. The reason why Moses gave them a law that if you want to leave your wife, you have to give your wife a letter of divorcement. So say, go, I don't want to marry you again. So you can go, I don't want, so everybody go their own separate ways. Jesus said, in the beginning it was not so. The reason why Moses gave you that commandment, it was because of the hardness of your heart. Now, take a look at it. Every divorce you have ever known, it starts with the hardness of heart. Just if you know anyone, sit down with them. If they are honest with themselves, it starts with a hardness of heart. They are trying to tell the man, the way you are treating your wife, you are pushing her to the extreme. He doesn't want to listen. He thinks, I'm the boss. I can do whatever I like. And they're telling the woman, the way you are going, you are not going on the right direction. She doesn't want to listen. Even when things have gone out of hand, people are trying to settle them. One of them have made up his or her mind that I'm done. I'm getting out of this marriage. I don't want marriage again. I don't want this. You see, these are the problem we have in marriage. Hardness of heart. When a heart is softened, that heart is receptive to a lot of things. But when the heart is hardened, because a hardened heart can take a decision without actually thinking it through. Yeah, I have seen that happen most of the time. A hardened heart can actually take a decision without thinking it through because he jumped into a conclusion based on his fragmented perspective. So he jumped into a conclusion, or she jumped into a conclusion, and get out of that thing. But most of the time, they always regret it. So Christ said, because of the hardness of your heart. So Moses gave that commandment. In the beginning, it was not so, because God made them male and female. So these two shall no longer be two, they shall become one flesh. So one of the reasons for divorce is the hardness of your heart. The hardness of your heart. When you soften your heart, when you allow your heart to be softened by the power of the Holy Spirit, you allow your heart to be receptive, both male and female, both husband and wife. You are going to live a very successful marriage without divorce. Then another issue is you allow other people to prepare you for divorce. Unconsciously, you allow other people to prepare you for divorce. Then I will give you an instance. When me and my wife got married, we did a court registry. So a certificate was issued to us. And there was one particular of our friend. She had the certificate. Oh girl, this certificate is for you. Keep it very well. Keep it. She laid so much emphasis on keep it very well that actually I didn't read any meaning to it. But because I was excited, the marriage, we have done the registry, the main, the other ones to go, and all the rest of it. I was so excited about everything. I actually didn't pay. Even when we got home, there was still more emphasis on keep this certificate very well. That was she was talking to my wife. Then until we got back to our station, then there was something I needed a certificate for. I took it because I knew where she kept it. I took it to the office that I needed to use the certificate. So I knew I brought it home, but exactly where I kept it, I couldn't remember. Then she asked me for the certificate. I said, I know it's somewhere, but I can't remember. I will look for it. She just let out. That certificate is my own. You don't have any right. If you take it, put it back. I said, wait a minute. Certificate is not your property. It is our property. That's what it now dawned on me. She's acting based on what her friend told her, that the certificate is for her. What was the purpose? Girl, if anything happens, you can bring this thing out and you can take a legal suit against your husband. That was the ground. They were preparing her for divorce and she didn't know. Until I sat her down and I explained the whole thing to her, that look, the certificate is not the most important thing. The most important thing is we that are in the relationship. When you allow other people to prepare you for divorce without you knowing, in your conscious mind, you think you are doing the right thing. But in the subconscious mind, you have a program for divorce. By what people say, by what you pick up from the environment. They sound very nice because you think they have good intention. Then you begin to act on it. it could escalate to something. That's why some people will buy property even before they go into marriage. This one keeping their own, this one keeping their own, this one keeping their own. Oh girl, don't let your husband know you have this. Oh guy, don't let your wife know you have this. You see, it allows people to prepare you for divorce, so that when it finally happens, both of you can go separate ways without any legal battle. Both of you can have your own property without any legal battle. You allow people to prepare you for divorce. Then another third one, then before I wrap everything up, the voice you listen to. Have you ever noticed that any woman or any man that is having problem in his or her marriage always advise you on the contrary? They don't take responsibility for their own faults. So they want you to be like that. They want to recruit you to their own setting, so that they are having problem, you too will be having problem in your marriage. If they are beating their wife, you also should be beating your wife. If they are insulting your husband, you also should be insulting your husband. So they are recruiting you into their gang, so that you also will belong to them. They will have control over you. So the voices you listen to matters a lot. Because in the last episode, I talked about the issue of feminism, the feminists. 85 or more of them have a failed marriage, failed relationship. So they go about recruiting people into their circle so that they could influence them, so that they will not feel alone in this their failure. Have you ever seen failure have a way of gathering other people around? Have you ever seen a group of people that fail jam? They know how many people. Oh, the jam was very bad. It was the highest score was. They know the highest score because they failed. But those who passed the jam know the number of people who passed the jam very well. So failure have a way of attracting other people so that you could sympathize with them. They want to draw you into your sympathy or make you see it was the man's fault. If girl, don't allow the man to treat you the way my man treated me. Oh girl, don't allow your wife treat you the way my wife treated me. You see, the voices you listen to matters a lot in your home. If you want to have a successful marriage, first do this thing. Treat your marriage as a very unique entity. Very unique entity. Admire people. Look out for those who have a successful marriage. Look out for those how they behave themselves. Look out for this thing. Don't look for those who are failing in their marriage that want to recruit you. They want to indoctrinate you into their failure. So look out for this group of people and avoid them completely. Don't listen to them. So the voices you listen to determine how well your marriage is going to go. So who is speaking into your life? Any man who does not have who is speaking words of encouragement, words of sincerity, not words of divisiveness, the word of sincerity, who will be able to tell you. Some people can tell you from their failure, they can advise you positively from their failure. They can tell you, look girl, I failed in my marriage, not because my husband was bad, but because I didn't take these precautionary measures to correct myself from the things I was doing. Some men can tell you, look, my wife left me not because she was a bad person, because I actually didn't treat her well, and I'm taking responsibility. There are very few of them. But you see, everyone that have failed at something want to attract sympathy. So stop going to this kind of environment where you hear all manner of things, all manner of people who have failed, want to gather, want to teach you how you should treat your success. Breeds success, failure breeds failure. Those who are failing in their marriage are those who, like I said, who have hardened their hearts, who have hardened their mind to hear. Now, before I finish, I will give you a story. That was a story my uncle told me, that in the village, that one of his friends drove his wife out of his house. And he tried as much as he could to reconcile them. But there was one particular guy who was engineering his friend to drive away his wife. He There was nothing the friend, he engineered his friend consistently. Your wife is this, your wife is that, you have to drive. And finally, the guy stupidly drove away his wife. So my uncle said he went to this guy's house, the one who engineered his friend to drive away his wife. Getting to his wife, this guy sat down, helping his wife to wash her own clothes. Now you could see the level of deceit and the level of the stupidity of that guy who drove away his wife. Why this guy is maintaining his own home, but he wants you to destroy your own home. So be careful of the people you listen to in your marriage, how you listen to them. You have the ability. You see, sometimes information comes to us, but you have to have the ability to filter some informations that you know. Let me tell you something. When they come to you, they don't come to you with dagger and sword. They come in a very subtle way. They come to you as if they have your own best interest at heart. But I tell you the truth, they don't. They don't have your best interest at heart. What they have is, maybe your marriage is better than theirs. So they are looking for a way they can destroy you. Then the woman will come. Oh, my husband gave me 15,000 naira just for to go to the market last week. I told him the money is not enough. So he now added, can you imagine? He only added 1,000 naira to it. Then this is you that your husband cannot even give you maybe 2,000 naira. Maybe because he's limited resources. Then you're not getting angry because what that one said, the husband is doing, you want your husband to be doing. You are making a very wrong comparison because you don't know whether she's saying the truth in the first place, because most of them are false. They just want to brag about their husband that have seen consistently coming to tell other women, my husband is do that, my husband, and when you go in there, you will discover they are taking rubbish in their home. Then you get angry. You want to lash out on your spouse because of what somebody said, because of what you think somebody else is enjoying that you are not enjoying, and you have actually not looked at what you are enjoying that the other person is not enjoying. So those are most of the issues. So in the next video, I'm going to be looking at the effect of divorce, particularly on the children.